Hello and greetings to the panel. I am Dharma Prakash Analaki Subramanian. I am going to explain about the research summary for my project paper 1. The title of my research is The Impact of Psychological Well-Being on Job Satisfaction Among Customer Service Workers in Klang Valley. So this is the table of content. I am going to explain from the background of the study until pilot study. For the background of the study, according to Devangan and Goswami 2025, psychological well-being refers to an individual's positive psychological functioning and optimal experience of life, extending beyond the mere absence of psychological distress. According to Cheng 2024, job satisfaction refers to employees' entire emotional and cognitive assessment of their work experiences influenced by both intrinsic and extrinsic features of the job. Psychological well-being reflects the overall emotional, mental, and social health of employees in the workplace, while job satisfaction is a key indicator of employee performance, motivation, and organizational commitment. For the problem statement, according to Langhoff 2023, low psychological well-being, often characterized by stress, burnout, and emotional exhaustion, significantly impacts employees' mental and emotional capacity to perform their jobs effectively. According to Zhao 2025, employees must perform emotional labor to meet organizational and customer expectations, which cause their ability to regulate emotional decreases, leading to emotional exhaustion. According to Leo 2024, workers lost their vigor, which means the mental and physical energy required to manage a demanding shift when their psychological well-being is low. This is the research objectives and research questions. I have three research questions. The first one is, what is the level of psychological well-being among customer service workers in Klang Valley? Second, what is the level of job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley? Third, what is the impact of psychological well-being on job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley? I also have three research objectives. First, to determine the level of psychological well-being among customer service workers in Klang Valley. Second, to determine the level of job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley. Third, to examine the impact of psychological well-being on job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley. My hypothesis for the research is psychological well-being has a significant positive impact on job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley. For the significance of the study, my study contributes existing research by providing empirical evidence on the relationship between psychological well-being and job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley. Secondly, it helps organizations to understand how psychological well-being affects employee job satisfaction, particularly for employees who must constantly manage emotions when dealing with customers. Thirdly, it also provides useful insights for HR practitioners by highlighting the importance of well-being focused HR strategies such as mental health support, employee engagement initiatives, and workplace support programs. Fourthly, for the customer service workers in Klang Valley, my study increases awareness about how psychological well-being affect their work attitudes, motivation, and quality of life. Finally, the findings provide evidence that can help policymakers develop workplace mental health policies, employee assistance programs, and also regulations that promote healthy work environments. In the literature review part for the psychological well-being, Muralikumaran and Prabhu 2023 found that hedonic well-being such as happiness and life satisfaction and eudaimonic well-being such as purpose and meaningful engagement have a substantial impact on employees' effective commitment to their organization. Moreover, Young 2024 discovered that people with greater level of psychological well-being perform better at work because they are better able to manage job demands, retain positive attitude, and keep motivation. Job satisfaction. According to Arifin 2025, job satisfaction is a multi-phased term that is influenced by both extrinsic like pay, job security, organizational policies, and intrinsic like meaningful work, autonomy, and personal development elements. Mohammed Noor 2024 and Wong 2023 explains that work-life balance, reward and recognition system, equitable workload distribution, leadership support, and career development opportunities are among the best indicators of job satisfaction, according to research done in the Klang Valley and the other part of Malaysia. For the impact of psychological well-being and job satisfaction, Mohammad Asari and Velu 2024 studied special need teachers in Johor, Malaysia, and demonstrated that employees with higher level of motivation and psychological well-being reported greater job satisfaction, highlighting the importance of mental health even in high-stress educational settings. Chan and Abdul Halim 2025 found that emotional intelligence, self-compassion, psychological capital, and mindfulness all positively predicted psychological well-being among academic staff in Malaysian higher education, which in turn improved job satisfaction. For the theoretical framework, I used two theories. First one is conservation of resource theory. This theory, originally proposed by Hopful, posits that individuals are motivated to obtain, retain, and protect valuable resources, including psychological and emotional resources, in order to minimize stress and maintain well-being. My second theory is Herzberg's two-factor theory. By differentiating between emotional and hygienic variables, Herzberg's two-factor theory by Frederick Herzberg offers a theoretical explanation of job satisfaction. When properly addressed, hygiene factors such as pay, working conditions, and organizational policies avoid discontent, whereas motivational factors such as accomplishment, acknowledgement, accountability, and also personal development promote positive job satisfaction. For the conceptual framework, psychological well-being is the independent variable, and job satisfaction is the dependent variable in the conceptual framework for analyzing the relationship between psychological well-being and job satisfaction. For the research design, I used quantitative research design to examine the impact of psychological well-being on job satisfaction among customer service workers in Klang Valley. For the sampling method, I used purposive sampling. My sample size is 300. For the data collection, I used two instruments. First is Warwick-Edinburgh Mental Wellbeing Scale, developed by Tennant in 2007. Second, Minnesota Satisfaction Questionnaire, developed by Weiss in 1967. For the research procedure, in the preparation, firstly I chose the title of the research and identify the target population. Then I developed the research questions, objectives, and hypotheses. And then I create a questionnaire structured into three sections: demographic questions, Warwick Edinburgh Mental Wellbeing Scale, and Minnesota Satisfaction Questionnaire. For the data collection, I gained permission from my supervisor. The data were collected using Google Form and sent to the respondents who met the purposive sample requirements using online channels such as WhatsApp, email, and other social media platforms. For the ethical consideration, an informed consent statement was distributed at the beginning of the survey to ensure voluntary participation, anonymity, and confidentiality. Throughout the research process, ethical principles were strictly maintained, and all the data was solely for academic purposes. For the research instruments, for the psychological well-being, I used Warwick-Edinburgh Mental Well-being Scale, developed by Tennant in 2007. The purpose of the instrument is to assess positive mental health and psychological well-being in the general population. Its format is 5-point Likert scale. 1 represents none of the time, 2 represents rarely, 3 represents some of the time, 4 represents often, and 5 represents all of the time. For the job satisfaction, I used Minnesota Satisfaction Questionnaire, developed by Weiss in 1967. This instrument's purpose is to assess how satisfied employees are with different aspects of their job and work environment. Its format also a 5-point Likert scale. 1 represents very dissatisfied, 2 represents dissatisfied, 3 represents neutral, 4 represents satisfied, and 5 represents very satisfied. For the pilot study, the purpose of the pilot study is to assess feasibility and address uncertainties in study design and conduct, thereby informing decisions about whether and how a future definitive study should proceed. The sample size is 20 targeted respondents. The data were analyzed using SPSS version 27. Totally, 34 received items received a score of 0.920 on Cronbach Alpha scale. Consequently, the items used to measure both variables and the questionnaire had a high degree of internal consistency. So that's all for myself. Thank you.